Hey, what is going on, you guys? Welcome to another RC Conspiracies. This time not studio version. This is much more relaxed. I'm going to be working on something here because I broke my SCX24 and we have a comp tonight as well. And things have been busy, so I'm just now getting to it. Sergeant J's RC Adventures got in early, buddy. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. One of the first 50. He wanted those tires. Free tires. That's cool, man. Yeah, I got in early, a little bit early. So we're going to talk about this. It is the full production model. You can see all the stuff they're pointing out here on the back of the box. Pretty awesome. So some of the things that they're highlighting, of course, are going to be your rear toe blocks are aluminum. Your front steering knuckles, hubs are going to be aluminum as well. One of the cool things is not only are they aluminum, but they're also larger bearings in the axles, which is really cool. The lower link mounts are aluminum as well. The uppers are not, but they did do aluminum ones underneath. Here you can see a little shine on them. So that's front and rear. Larger bearings, third member size of those has been increased as well. So pretty cool. I say I have a video uploading. Things are crazy around here. Working on the USCE stuff, working on this project, working on some other things that we got in the hopper. Just lots of things going on. And yeah, I have a video kind of, it wasn't going to be a build video, but it's turned into a build video. And so I have it exporting. It's about an hour and 4 minutes long. It was a lot of work. It is not perfect. I was very tired at points during it. I had to make a deadline, so it wasn't my first priority to do a build video. So I did a lot of time lapsing through things that I thought were easy. We kind of went through the shocks part. Anything I thought was new and worth addressing, I stopped and talked about. I did not stop and talk about. I didn't realize that the bearings were all bigger. Things like that I didn't really notice because I didn't have another axle open in front of me, and I didn't have kind of a sheet saying what was new, just the box to kind of go off of, and it doesn't say anything. All right, so let's get to it. Brian Taft's in the house. Rich Boy J in the house as well. I'm going to read these comments as soon as I get the screw in here. I'll go back and look through some of these. This does not come like this in the box. You have to build it from bags. Bag A, let's see if I can remember order. Diffs were first. And then we did kind of the side plates and the plate for the transmission. The kind of the cradle here in the middle. And then I know the D bag was, C bag was shocks. So then we came back and did the shocks. I don't remember what the D bag was in particular, but kind of what I remember doing was diffs were first. We built the diffs, did a little bit of the cradle stuff for it. Then we did the shocks. We let those sit to the side for a bit. We might have done, then these plastic plates go in here and capture some things, install some of the, yeah, you'll have to watch the video. It's pretty in depth, and it's an hour long. Like I said, I'll have chapters eventually when I get it uploaded. It's about, well, it didn't export right the first time, so it's re-exporting. So we're working on that. The carbon fiber is super nice on this. It's really light. They did shock on the trailing arms, which a lot of people will like. These are actually I like the machining on these trailing arms a lot. And what else did they do? Oh, the best thing that they did, the best thing, in my opinion, they did is in here. It's going to be hard to show you guys. Right here is a bar running through. Right there. Upper link, upper link. So instead of having a nut on the back of those upper links, you have this bar. And so they thread in from each side. So you just tighten down both sides and it'll snug this up. So much better. So much better. It'll keep those things from getting so loose, and then also the screw moving because it's captured in this bar. It's not going to want to wobble as much. Huge, huge, huge improvement. They did that front and rear. You can kind of see it through that little hole there, the bar running through right in here, that brace. It not only stiffens up the chassis, which they had something before that kind of went over it, and I always wondered, it was a stiffener, and I hated it because it actually got in the way of accessing those nuts. And now they've just integrated it genius into the upper link mounts. The shocks, there's a little bit of a thing with those. The colors in the book didn't match up to the colors on the shock springs for front and rear. So I do advise, I'm trying to get the instructions here. I do advise doing those separately. So you do keep things separate for your front and rear. So I did mine. I didn't just open up all the bags. Yeah. So D-bag was the front and rear, like the wheelie bar and the front mounts. And it was your headers. C-bag was the shocks. You guys can't see this blowing out. I'm trying to see what I was going to say about the shocks. So A is the diffs. B is going to be the lengths was B. That was what B was. And then it goes to C, which is shocks. Now, somewhere in here, they mentioned, yeah, green and orange are the two different colors that they list. And these are green and silver. Green still goes to the front, and silver is the rear. I think it's either stiffer. They went a little bit stiffer in the rear, or maybe they went a little softer than what was in the book. So that's just something to make a note of. That was one thing that I noticed. Wheelie bar looks like it be transferred to standard. I don't know that it can be transferred unless maybe you cut off something. I don't know, because there's such long wings on the standard one, and so much of this is the wheelie bar, the plastic here, because the chassis ends like right there. And maybe the wing comes up different. I don't know. That was the one question mark I had, is whether or not this would be transferable. I don't believe that it is. A lot of the stuff could be, like you could do the links. You should be able to do that bracing in the upper links, I would hope, would be a fit across. If you get the axles, I guess now, hopefully they'll start doing the larger bearings for those and have some new fitted parts for that. Midday live. Yes, I have crawling tonight, which I'm trying to get my truck working again. My course has been coming along, and I was testing it last night, and I broke off the stub off of the end here. So, holy crap, this isn't even threaded. What? Yeah, that isn't even threaded. I just spent all that time putting it back in there. All that time being like 2 minutes. But RC Propaganda says, so nice. It really is nice. Mini Jam, what's going on? Yeah, bars between the upper links is so much better. The best thing they've got. Sway bars been beefed up a little bit. It looks like thickness. These are just plastic cases that go over them now. So you'll see on the inside the metal arm still, kind of. So the shocks are a total upgrade. So smooth. These are TLR shocks. again, the bearings throughout. It's got the new battery train here. I put the foam in because I plan to run the bigger 3S's in it, but for people that want low CG, you can pop that out, and then there's a little strap that goes across the middle here to hold your battery in place. I'm going to have to do a pretty big teardown of this in order to get my ESC mounted in there, because the battery tray, unfortunately, I might be able to grind that away. Actually, I'll probably just grind that away because I don't ever plan to use this pin through here and do the overstrap that goes over the batteries. So I'll probably just grind that away. Even if I did, I don't think it'd be that big of a deal if I just ground a little edge off it. But it's covering the spot where the screw would go in. But so here's the funniest thing. Feeling about the new Proline Fire and Ice bodies. Those look really good. Yes. I have never taken apart the diffs or the transmission in an LMT. Yeah, my original one, I've had zero driveline issues with it at all. The only thing that I've done is like broken axles and sway bars. And then the upper link mounts either bend or loosen and that kind of stuff. You take it apart and do it. So this is a huge, I'll have to do less repairs hopefully on this just because of that. The other cool thing, and I've got the parts here. So there's multiple different options. So you got your battery straps you can do like stock. You've also got like the upright here. But one of the cool things that they did is I put in these parts right here, which are great, nice and flat for doing Velcro body, front and rear. But they also include long grub screws that you can screw into the top there. And then they have these top hats, like the Proline ones, if you want to do this for your body post. Have just little holes in the body, very tiny, that the posts stick up through, and then you just screw this on. Lots of surface area, not going to rip through your body very easily. So yeah, those are that. The other thing that I don't have on here, you can hear batteries for tonight, is it also came with limit straps. So you don't see those in the video because I'm waiting on Chris Higa to show me how they mounted. So we'll do a video showing how to mount them based on it being with the lower link for the shocks and all that. So yeah, lots of extra screws. You could do bladder for the shocks, or you can do bleeder caps. I did the bleeders. But yeah, lots of extra shims, all kinds of stuff. It does have the pinion too. And I didn't mention in the video, but it is a 5mm shaft, so it's a larger one. It does have a wheelie bar with a flag mount in it, and there's a spot to put a little screw there. So for all those companies that sell flags, there you go. Flag mount already in here. Just put a little grub screw next to it, lock it in place. But the build was good. The build was really good. After I get done saying this year that this year is not going to be one where I spend a lot of time doing kits. Here we are. Here we are right here. But it's beautiful, guys. I was happy to do it. So this is the one that's used in the video teaser. I took it up. I have a little spinning. I have several spinning, whatever the wheels are. I can't think of Lazy Susan style things that are electronic. I have one in my little product bin here, little photo box, and I have like the photo papers and all that roll down up in my studio. And I have another one up there. So I have white and black ones. Well, one can change colors, all that. But we did it black. Found out it looked best if I put it onto like a Crawler Innovation foam, just to let it sit, instead of it being kind of, you're going to see something. You're either going to see the spinner or you're going to see the foam block. I thought it looked better with the foam block. Let me stop this thing. There we go. So yes, Any updates to the axles? Third members updated, larger bearings in here. You can see the bearing sticking out even a little bit past the drive shaft there. So that's been increased in size, bigger bearings internally. It does have the metal lower link mounts, which I don't know that it addresses the problem of them pulling out. So yeah, so I don't know if the axle itself has been beefed up for that, because that, unless they change the screws or something. I will say some of the screws into plastic, like if you don't have a drill, your forearm, you're not going to do this in one sitting. It was a workout on some of them getting them in, which is good because it's really biting in and kind of creating into the plastic ones. That's what I'm talking about, into the plastic, not metal. Some of them going into plastic, man. Whew. These lower ones for the plate here, they put a workout on me, and so I had to get the drill. But I was only using these little ones, and it didn't have enough power, so I was still having to look for other, a little bit more powerful screwdrivers. And I didn't use a full-on drill, but yeah. When will the kit be available to the wider market? The UK, Sean, I don't know. I honestly don't have any extra information that you guys don't have. So the sheet I got for it, so I did all the call outs on the video, longer 15-inch wheelbase, which is something I didn't mention here. Call outs to shocks, different things, carbon fiber, just the things that they want bullet pointed. I wasn't able to. So when I got this was before USC. That video was needed shortly thereafter. Basically, I had a week to build it and get the video done. So that's why I went right into building it. I kind of tried to make a build video, but it wasn't my number one focus. My number one focus was getting it done so I'd have time to do a video. We tried some stuff with it that didn't work. We tried yellow lights, it just looked green. So luckily I was shooting and I was also doing just standard white light, normal lights on it. And we were still kind of panning it over. So we had a handheld, nice brick LED color changing light that does a whole bunch of stuff. Kind of like this, but with more features. We could just kind of pan over it. So we use the other one. We'll put in fireplaces. It does flicker things. It does police car strobes and stuff if you want to do movie effects or whatever. So yeah, that's kind of what we were using. So in that video, we were doing all that. And yeah, so I got their sheet, but the sheet was literally what you have on the website. It's the text from that is what I have. So I don't know that more has been done. The webbing looked the same to me in the axles. But they did have to clear stuff for bigger bearings. So it's very possible that they did beef up some of that plastic there. Because plastic should be enough. It really should. I feel. I mean, so many of our parts that we're hitting and are threaded into plastic on our bashers. So I feel like it should be able to take it, but it would be cool if that is upgraded. But yeah, I don't know when it'll hit the UK market. I do know there's limited numbers of them, because there's only, this is really a niche thing, and I think part of it is them using it for tooling for parts for upgrades that they can sell to LMT people as well. So that could be possibly it. And they tooled it and at the same time made this for us. But yeah, it's super nice. And the build, like I said, was awesome. Super fun to build. Shocks weren't bad. Some of the things that are crazy is because the part numbers are not, they're based on part bags. And so if something has two different parts, they still have the same number. And that's a little confusing when you're doing a shim and a an O-ring and things like that. Now they try to make it look good in the drawing and try and show like that one is thicker, so it should make sense. But there's little things like that that, you know, I kind of wish if they're taking the time to notate it out, just say like O-ring and shim, like 5772 O-ring, 5772 shim. Like, yes, there are two parts in the same bag, but like 30 seconds longer to type in shim and O-ring on it, and it would have made half of me going second guessing stuff and going back in the video to try and explain it, which is really tough to do because you've done it and then you think you're fixing it, but you don't want to show the whole first try, second try. But then when you're describing, you're saying like, and I'm going to pull this apart now to do this, but you don't really start over as a, anyway, I shot myself in the foot with some of that, and it's my own fault, but that's why I don't like build videos, especially when it's a first time build, because it's getting all that stuff right, and or having to go back and redo things because you realize you did it wrong, or you just later on put a notation on like I did because I forgot a bearing in the transmission. Yay, second time I've done that. Second time. Did that also on a SCX-10-3 build. So that was cool. Yeah, I can't believe this. No threads on that. I'm going to make sure this one has threads before I put it in. This one was finished. This guy wasn't sleeping on a Friday. You can't tell the difference. You just have to believe me. I wouldn't have taken that apart otherwise. So yeah, ready, really excited to see it run. So am I. I refuse to run it. It's too nice to just take it out and run it in the snow and in the salt on the cement that we have right now. Because I could take it to a parking lot, but everybody's salted their parking lots for ice and snow. And yeah, so it's going to be a race truck, and until I can find a spot to run it and not where I feel like I won't destroy it, I have zero plans to run it. That's all I'll say. I got time invested in this one. I had to build it. But yeah, very cool. Very cool build. Now I'm trying to get that bearing wouldn't fit on that one. Probably just need a little grease on it. All right, in Tennessee, just saying. Oh, he's got no snow. Well, ours is melting really fast, and I have. The other problem has been time. Can work on the USDE stuff, but I know it's a race kit, and I'm still going to put in the RTR electronics. Don't judge me. I like these things. I feel your judgment through the computer screen. Such judgy people these days. Gosh. Yeah, I plan to get some, I got my J Concepts wheels to throw on it. I got also set up a body for it. And I love the way that they did the cage. It's going to make it super easy to run with truck bodies because they just made it a truck cut. Simple. I applaud them for that. They could have made it super scale, but it's a race body. It doesn't need to have the rear supports, in my opinion. But everybody's, oh, Tony, don't do that. Don't do what? What did I say? I missed some comments. Great job on the vid, Tony. Thanks, buddy. It's pretty short and simple, but it took quite a bit of work because we were at that point trying to salvage and fix, and when we realized that the yellow just looked too green, and then on top of that, I thought I'd be able to just shift it to yellow in post. The dreaded words, fix it in post. Didn't work. But I'm also smart enough as a post guy to say, give myself another option for post. And so I did. But then you have to think through what shots did I already get, and you're going through it, and you think you got something, but then you don't, and then you're trying to, because you remember doing it, but you remember doing it, and it was a different shot for one of the colored ones, and yeah, I was working some magic there, trying to get the edit right, to the point where I was happy with it. And even still, there's parts where I'm like, yeah, I wish I'd have done just a little more with that. Hold on one second. Bet you guys didn't know that was there. That's got 100,000 screws in it up there. Mini screws and little nuts. So yeah, just trying to finish this up while we're talking here. Any questions that I might be able to answer based on the build? I fell in love with the transmission when I was working on it. Again, having never had to work on it and never had to take it apart. It was the first time, and it was so simplistic. I just loved the simplicity of it. Are you used for the shocks? Booster FPV. What am I working on today? Getting some of the parts for his LMT. Glad they made them backwards compatible. I agree with that completely. I'm not sure what your shop's comment was. Booster FPV. James. Already bought it. Xavier RC's Hue. I actually have it here. So I'm not doing any like super. I didn't pay for it with my money. I just paid for it with my time. Basically, they're trying to get a video made. So I built it and did the little promo video that's on the site for them. And in doing so, got to find out how it all goes together. The diffs are super easy in these. Super went together beautifully. About how simple and beefy it is. Cush driving, knowing how quick and easy to get in and change stuff out is insane. If you will just put your motor in after the fact without really taking it all apart to drop out a transmission plate. Basically, it's one screw here and this piece comes off, and then you access to this, all of that. So simple. The diffs here, the center diff just drops out at the bottom. So for using this more internal ones, but still not too bad. The front, but these aren't bad to work on, these axles. I'm Lord knows I've done it enough times with as many as I broke. But kind of feels like working on the SCX24 to me. Work on the axles for that as many times as I broke the initial ones there until we got metal ones from Triel and Vidavon. But I mean, we put it through we put it through hell and broke them. But I'm surprised. It was like after the first one broke, it almost became like you worried about it, and then in doing so, you broke more. Because when I didn't worry about it, man, I drove that thing hard until Sanford and Matthew Hall came over, and that was the first time any of the axles broke. And I'd been, like I said, I had done thousands of flips with it, worked on doing the moonwalk, and never never had an issue. So is this kit only made for the US market? The Kingsling did not arrive here in Europe till today. Grumpy Cats RR. This is very limited in number. I'm guessing the racing for these is primarily in the US, and it really kind of is a race kit, so I don't know what their intentions are for worldwide release on it, especially knowing that they have limited small numbers of them. So and they did say that they would, based on sales, be willing to make more, it sounds like, if there's like a really huge market swell for it. So that's at least what I read from the Losi Facebook page. Again, zero communication about any of that with them. Just seeing what you guys are seeing. So they're super busy. And I think that's probably why they even reached out to me on this, because they make awesome promo videos and everything. So, but I know they just did the Polaris. They've been away at the 1-to-1 races and doing some big race stuff, big RC races and a couple things. It's been a very busy couple weeks, months for them with releases and events. So yeah, King of the Hammers, all that kind of stuff. James, I've been doing good, man. Been keeping super busy. RC Recreation. So what are the hop-ups on the TLR version? I'll try and do it in one kind of naming it. Chassis, first of all, right? Carbon fiber, aluminum support braces across. The best part is one of those aluminum support braces goes right in here, and it connects between the two upper links. So and they're threaded. So when you screw in your upper links from the outside, they're going against each other. So it tightens down. And so it'll definitely help us with the problem with the nut we had and the single bolt coming loose, and then trying to reach in there and tighten it was a real pain in the butt. That's one of the biggest upgrades in my opinion. I mean, chassis is a pretty awesome upgrade too. Body mounting options, they got this, and they got the post that has the Proline style top hat caps that go on it as options for mounting. They've also got the higher one for the rear. They've got this new plastic wheelie bar. They call it a wheelie bump with an integrated flag holder. Super cool. Low LCG battery tray, does shorty packs in here. You can have it sitting in this lower part of the tray if you really want race. Go 2S, get a high kV motor. You'll be going super fast with it. Other improvements: larger third member axle bearing openings here. So you have larger bearings in your third member, larger bearings in your axles. You have metal lower link supports here off of the axle that are made of aluminum. These are aluminum. They're also 2mm screws now instead of the 1.5s that strip like crazy. 2mm hardware into these. That's a big thing that I didn't mention before. But again, larger bearings. It still is the 3 degrees of toe in the rear because of racing. You have trailing arms, these beefy aluminum trailing arms that are now shock mountable trailing arms, 4 links, but we call them trailing arms for most other things. And you run your shocks on them. They are TLR shocks, 12mm round, aluminum bodied, beautiful shocks, aluminum caps, aluminum collar, lots of good on those. So what else is there that I'm missing? This is I guess a TLR inspired servo saver here as well. A little bit of just a nice touch here with the sway bars for looks. I think that's most things that I can look at and see. So I think I covered most things, but very, very nice assembly process on this. What's going on, Matt Flanders? Just got your power back. Awesome. I just got my truck fixed. One of them. My 4-steer one is still down for the count. I'm trying to decide if I have time to fix it before tonight, and I don't think I do because I got about 15 minutes. So that's unfortunate. I could run a box stock one again, but that didn't go so well last time. So I think I won't run Class 4 tonight. Bummed. Consider me bummed out about that. The other thing is, it is 15 inches long now, so it's a longer wheelbase. I forgot to mention that. So you're welcome. If you still made it that far. But yeah, awesome job by TLR Losi on this. It just, everything about it feels good. So again, I got my electronics here. Try to decide what servo to run. I have more of these. Actually, I forgot about these KST servos. This is a short one, but I have a couple of beefier ones that they sent to test. So yeah, this is like 46 kg centimeter at 0.07 seconds. So that's pretty quick. It's high lifespan version. So I have that. I have the Aliquidus 300 from Reefs. I have the Reefs 400 raw, which is probably enough, but a smaller profile I could put in here. Any of these, though, requires changing this servo mount, is my guess. I haven't looked, but I'm guessing it's 23 tooth. But I do have the Spectrum S6245. I won at some raffle. Oh no, I won it as a when I did well in racing at the World Finals 2 years ago. I won this as one of the prizes. So raw 500 all day. Yeah. So what I'll probably do is trade out one of them from my bashers and put the raw 500 on here. So that's probably what I'll do. Never heard of KST. Neither have I, but I put one into my Team Corelli, and it did really good. It's noisy, though. That's the one complaint I had about it. But other than that, it took some hits, man. It took some hits. But yeah, they reached out to me. And so, you know, hey, we go through servos. We'll test them out. That's for sure. Because, yeah, I have so many RCs, I can't put Reefs in all of them. And so I'll run stock ones in a bunch of them. But, yeah, I'm always trying other ones. I do like the Eco Power ones that I've run in some, the WP115s or whatever. They're kind of a low cost one that I'll run in my 3S Arma lineup, like $30, something like that. But yeah, raw 500 is my go-to for my favorite bashers that I have. Get that installed in it as soon as the stock one goes. So, or sometimes before that, depending. Like the LMT, first thing I did was put it. So after we finished the shoot for Losi on the first LMT when it came out, immediately put a raw 500 in it with one of the Freestyle RC servo savers, and haven't looked back, man. Still running in that truck. Haven't changed it. That original truck has been through some torture that most RCs would not want to get in their lifetime. In a week, even. We've given it that much. But, yeah. All right, so I got to get ready to wrap up here, guys. I did get my main truck fixed. I got to look at my son's truck, make sure it's good to go. Update on the track. Well, you know what? You guys are attached. So I can take you for an update. I need to get a quick drink though. Because this is the other thing I'm super excited about. You get to see as I go through the calamity of the mess that is my my life right now. All that work stuff back there. And then I still have luggage and junk back there. I have to duck through here because I'm too tall. And I hit my head on this every time. Not going in usually, but coming out, I'll tell you what, I clip the top of my head every single time leaving this room. So this is the doorway. Go ahead. Alexa, turn on the fishing room. Okay. Ah, there's light. So, RC Recreation, you can't put a reef in if you want to change them out. None of my reefs have failed on me. Exactly. Same. Various happenings with Mr. B. I'm 6'2". I'm not that tall. But this is a basement. This is an original one. So this house has some weirdities. And in fact, it did have... This is me. I reverted this back to raw. They had drop ceiling in here, but that wasn't working because I can stand in here now, even with the hat on. But here's the drop ceiling line. That was a no-go for me. So we ripped all that out. And it was a good thing because there's a lot of just open electrical in here. So we had them put in just lights that didn't hang down, so it stopped hitting my heads on them. Yeah, a lot of work. And it doesn't look prettier, but it's more functional. So the goal is, or the hope is, to just spray it all white. I'm trying to get to settings, camera, and back. All right, here we go. So we went and got some rock, and we started adding some natural rock in here, making sure to leave some holes for you to fall in, make things tricky. Even here, have to hit right for your approach. We put this bridge. I put this bridge in. You can see there's a lot of glue around it, so it's locked in there pretty good. Made it wide enough that you can get on it with 18th scale, but it's narrow enough that we can do it with 24 scale. So the cheat is that this one can sit a little on the outside, the other one sit a little on the inside, kind of right in the middle. It's hard to line up if you don't get a straight shot on it. That's why there's little helper stones here. Plus, I want to come across it and use it as obstacles this way. If I were to put gates like on the sides of it, having to go across it. That was originally going to go here, but then I wanted to use these big sticks so I could do 24th or 18th scale. And doing that up here, they stick up so high that I'd have to shave them or find a way to get up on them. And this was easier with these hills to descend on them. And same here, we're descending on it. I got this one below it, and this one you just step up onto. So it worked. This is just in here for looks, I guess. Just like stuff is falling. I did make this a little bit more doable. I glued this side stick in here because just most trucks couldn't make it. And it's still tricky, but here's my body clip. And these things are worth a fortune to me. I can never find them. But all of it is simple, but it can be hard. And that was the goal, is that if you're running a stock truck, there are lines that you can do, and you can just find them. But if you choose wrong and you just are going through things weird, you'll tip over, and there's some steep gaps. You can kind of gap between this, which is cool. Same here. It's like the flex area between these. Got drop offs in here, so it's cool to see the truck working. The foam pit, this is all glued in here because it was too shallow and they were all coming out. There's a little divot here, so I tried the textured stuff, that upper left had mentioned, Dustin had mentioned, and it didn't harden up enough to support that. So I just put in this, and actually then glued in some of the BBs, so it wouldn't be too hard for the tire to catch up against the bottom of that. So as far as a ridge, so some of the BBs are even glued in, but it really does keep them. And the deeper it is, the harder it is for the truck to actually start sinking, which you don't want everything to be super easy. So, but yeah, it's actually you have to hit it with speed to get over this either way, or otherwise you high center. So you have to know that going in, which means if there are gates here and you have to get through them with speed, your chance of hitting them is higher, or even if they were down here, because you've got to kind of launch your start. So that'll make that a little bit technical. This is steep, and the main thing that makes it hard is this little bump out here, which I added in the second time because it was too easy. So when I did it, I kind of bunched this to give your tire something to get stuck on, trying to climb that. So again, you have to hit it with a little speed. Otherwise, you're going to have to use a reverse and get a point. But all this, tried to keep it simple again so anybody can drive it. But if you do any of it at an angle, that's when it's tricky. So, and then there are some pretty good contours. But that said, all the different texture things that I used was awesome. And I did use up here the stuff that Dustin had mentioned. And it actually kind of looks like snow on here, which looks really cool. So it's like a glue with sandy stuff in it, I guess. Some texture that they sell for modeling. I still haven't added my eagle to the wall yet. That's going to still have to happen. But so it all has a lot of grip to it. And the stuff from one of the coolest things I thought that was used was, let me grab it here, this wall texture. It really did give a bunch of different little bumps and imperfections on the track that are just nice. There's a bunch of it down here. I really sprayed this hill all over this thing. And so I did it in different heavy, medium, fine. But you're waiting for the train. I've been talking with Toy WD about getting one of their Tibetan bridges to run across here. Now, if during comps and stuff, we wouldn't want that because we'd probably be using winches and stuff. But otherwise, if it's easy to remove and add, it'd be cool to have a bridge across here to there as well, and a really long bridge. The other thing would be I could do it from, like, nothing in here is really used. I just have to clean all that up. It's got a bunch of our junk we've been using. But I could go, like, from a staging thing here, take my kids' Legos out, and put trucks in there as just kind of a starting bridge to get over. Would be another thing we could do. Or I could cut holes in this and we could expand the course here and drop down here. So you can see we're just kind of staging zone all of the junk that we've been using. The stone stuff worked great. This Revive is the paint we used. It's worked amazing. It was not cheap. Not kind of saying to go that route because it is expensive. Deck over is about $30 cheaper, so it's about $40 for a gallon. And it really does harden on this stuff and make a pretty good base. So, because this was just, yeah. So it helps stiffen it up a lot and bring it all together and added texture to everything, even before I sprayed it all with that stone texturing. And then I hit it all with black spray paint, just misted it to darken it and give it shadows and different things. So try to make it look mountainous. But yeah. All right, comments. I switch back to camera here, and then I'll wrap up because I got to go. Holy cow. All right. Do you like the worm gear setup in the F624 RC Recreation? I love the worm gear setup for crawling. I think the worm gear is awesome for calling. It's pretty hard to break it, which is good. Does it make a difference if the BBs are metal or rubber? No, these are plastic. I mean, it probably does, but these were cheap. Thanks, James RC Garage. I think I saw Raquel. Yes, I do like the stock ESC. There's definitely some clogging. You can't get that out even with a good radio, but I'm usually going fast enough that I'm not clogging right off the start. Drag me. I think a big LMT would be awesome as well. Should make the course a whole room and stand on a Lazy Susan to drive. Nice. Just missing a waterfall. You know, if we brought the turtle tank in here, we could maybe implement something. Your artist eye behind the lens really transferred well to your build. Very nice. Thank you, Kevin. Texture and paint is looking really good. Thanks, Brian. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with how all of it is turning out. And the wall in person looks kind of like how you're seeing it. Kind of ridiculous, but when you get down there and you're filming with it, it looks better than this beige color that we had before. That's for sure. But anyway, I got to go, you guys. I'm effectively late at this point. I got to grab all this stuff in order to get on the road. So I will catch you later. Thanks for tuning in. If you are looking for an LMT and you like kits, this TLR tuned one, you guys, it really is that good. It's amazing. Anyway, we'll talk to you later. See ya.